time, I would like to draw your attention down on the track where I have Coach Pearl Smith, white shirt, standing with me. Coach Smith and Mrs. Smith, welcome to the hall. I am sure that most of you know that Coach Pearl Smith is a retired teacher, coach, and activities director in the Fairfield Community School District. In fact, if you are a past player, student, or colleague of Coach Smith, could you please stand? Awesome. Before I forget, I want to make sure everybody knows that tonight there is a reception for Coach Smith after the football game at the Walton Club. Everyone is invited to attend. Also, for past players, we have a football in the concession stand that we would like you to sign. So please go to the concession stand and sign that football for Coach Smith. We'll be giving that to him. I will share a little background information about Coach Smith, and I think I have this accurate. I believe he served the district for around 25 years. He grew up in Fairfield and graduated from FHS. After high school, he stayed in town and attended and graduated from Parsons College. Early in his teaching career, Coach Smith landed a job back here in Fairfield, where he stayed until his retirement. By the time I came to the school district in 1995, Coach Smith had retired and moved to Missouri. Although I have not spent a whole lot of time with Coach Smith, I sure feel that I know him well due to the countless stories current and past teachers, players, coaches, community members have shared with me. All of these stories recount a common theme: his positiveness. He had a great influence on his students, his fellow teachers, and coaches. He had a positive influence on Fairfield High School and the school district, and on the whole entire Fairfield community. In the stories, it's obvious that Coach Smith had a remarkable ability to get the most out of people and the ability to bring people together. I've heard countless stories about how he really brought the whole town together. I am sure that this is why his teams were so successful and dominant on the playing field. If my stats are correct, then you coached Fairfield to 162 football victories in 25 years. In 21 of those years, there was a football conference championship held, with your teams winning the conference 12 times. For 12 of your coaching years, the state held football playoffs, which Fairfield qualified for 10 of those, and 5 of those teams reached the semifinals. These accomplishments and how you interact with people enabled you to be inducted into the Iowa High School Football Hall of Fame. Today, we are here to honor you in another way. Good job, Coach. So today, we're going to honor you in another way. From this date forward, our field at Trojan Stadium will now be known as the Pearl Smith Field. So I do have a couple mementos for you. We have a plaque. We'd like to honor you with. And a picture of the stadium dedicated to the Pearl Smith Field. You're welcome. So if you would like to do so, I'd like to give you an opportunity to address the crowd.
I sure would. I love this town. I love the school, and I love the years I was the coach here. I played high school football on this field. I played college football on this field, and I was blessed to be able to coach here a lot of years. I want to thank the school boards that I work for, and also all the fans who thought I was worthy of this award. I want all the players and all the coaches that coached with me those years to feel that this is their award as well as mine. Without the good players and well as dedicated coaching staff, we couldn't have accomplished what we did. One thing I was blessed with was a good coach's wife. Shirley loved sports. Back in the prehistoric days, we made a film. I took it down to the motel. They sent it to Des Moines and brought it back. So there's only one way we can handle films for the kids, was to open our house on Sunday afternoon and the players would come and look at the film. And in the evening, the coaches would come. And the way we operated it, all the junior high and high school coaches were there. Over those years, I assume Shirley must have popped a truckload of popcorn. Never once complained. However, when we get by ourselves, she might come up to me and ask a football question like, why do you always run the kickoff up the middle? I didn't ask her why she asked. Another person I got to recognize at this time, when I got the job here, Ralph Ganbeck was the superintendent. And I asked him, could I meet the varsity assistants? He said, you don't have any, but we'll get you two. And you go out and find a football person to be one of your coaches. And by chance, I ran into Rich Reaver, down at graduate school. I knew he was going to be the one that I wanted to come and work with me. I couldn't have picked a more dedicated, loyal coach to work with and a dear friend all those years. Rich called me Tuesday and regretted not being here. He changed his mind and tried to fly out and cut a plane. But it's such a pleasure to see all the coaches that I worked with over those years down here with me. The other thing I want to talk about is the Booster Club. How much time I got? In 1973, 5 of us met in the old Carolina Armory and started the Trojan Booster Club. A few years later, I'd say 5 or 6 years later, I was at a state meeting and they asked me to speak on how you start an excellent booster club. I told them, move to Fairfield. We have parents and fans that will sacrifice anything for these kids, and you can't beat that. Another group that I'd like to mention at this time is the doctors. All the time we had a doctor on the field with you. You don't know how much relief that is to a coach not to make a decision. And I understand one doctor, Dr. Hill, has been on the sideline for 25 years. He was on the sideline with me for 5 years. It's the same given that. Next, I want to congratulate Mike Shank and Marilyn. They're like family to us. That's like a grandson. Mike I met as a student teacher, and he'd come up to my office and talk football and stuff. And I contacted Larry Gilpin. I said, we want to get him on the coaching staff. And he worked his way up from 9th grade to the assistant with the varsity, and of course done a great job for probably longer than me. But and Marilyn, if you don't know Marilyn, you should. You'll never meet a grander lady than her. She is willing to help anybody, and I hope you guys appreciate that couple. My wife always shuts me off, so I must be good.